Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. My name is Astrid. I'm a psychic oracle and mentor, and this is the Sacred Gray. Hello. If you're new here, be sure to say hello. Drop a like, drop a follow, whatever. I don't know. What do they say on YouTube? I'm pretty new to this platform. I guess it's not a follow. I guess it's a subscribe. It's a really easy and free way to support a growing channel. This reading is for Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, Gemini Moon. So if you or someone that you're interested in has any of those Gemini placements, please be sure, any other Gemini, maybe Gemini Descendant, I don't know, whatever you want, right? There's no rules here. There's no rules. Okay. This reading is going to be for you. Okay. And so as soon as I got started, actually, I felt or I saw very clearly an image of a door and a key. Now the key was a skeleton key, which I always associate with the asteroid Chiron, the wounded healer. And the image itself has this like red vibration. So I feel like, Gemini, you have just walked through, I'm hearing a series of doors wherein so much has changed, and perhaps it's possible that you don't even recognize yourself at this point. And this is just what Spirit is giving to me without pulling any cards. Now, I feel like this card on top is the one for me to start with, but I want to explain a little bit more what I'm getting from this image. It is very clear, and like the image just keeps growing. It is very clear that the path you have taken to where you are, which I do believe that you are standing in front of a door currently in your life. And so the path that you have taken to get here, I believe has held many of those doors, many of those portals that you've already walked through. This has been a long road for you, Gemini. Okay, so let's see. Wow. King of Pentacles right out the gate. There's something about you that is prosperous. And I'm also hearing the word poise. Gemini, you love to, not only like actually provide, but I feel like you love to be seen as a provider. There is something here that feels like a healthy vanity, right? It's not like vain, but there is a healthy vanity here. You like how you look, right? And you look good. You look good. Okay. Let's get a little bit more about Gemini right now. Yep. See, and there's those doors. I think that, where you have landed on this journey is very, very significant in terms of what it is that you can provide, right? So everything that got you to this point where I do feel, and I'm going to get some more on this, but I do feel that you are about to walk through a door, Gemini. So the entire journey that you've had up until this point is in direct relation to what it is that you can provide, what it is that you can foster and fertilize with that King of Pentacles energy. So I would like to get some clarity from Spirit on where exactly you are right now, like in your physical space. Can I get something about Gemini's situation at this time? Okay. So interesting. First card was the Eight of Swords, but we also have the Star here, which is super duper significant, right? Because you've gone on this long journey and you haven't lost sight of that which grounds you to a sense of beingness and hope and like direction, right? There, Gemini, you do seem to very, very well know yourself. And at the anchor of the deck here, we do have the Emperor. There is very strong masculine energy here, right? So, and that's not pertaining to gender, right? Whatever it resonates with, but there's something about you, Gemini, that is deeply respectable, right? There is a part of you that I don't think even needs to command respect. There's something here that, and it may have something to do with perhaps the people, to whom you provide just kind of understand what Gemini's been through the thick, right? Gemini's been through a lot, and they're deeply resilient. And that in and of itself, I think, is providing a kind of respect and authority, like a spiritual authority on your name as it is. But there is something, that is, I cannot help but feel that there is still with this Eight of Swords, a tension or a drawback point, a point of trepidation or frustration where you throttle yourself. So let's get something, because you haven't walked through that door, right? I can see the key and I can see the association with the asteroid Chiron, the wounded healer, but that red vibration, that red radiating energy coming off of this image that I'm receiving feels like some pretty serious tension. So what is crossing, Gemini? Tell me a little bit more. The King of Wands, there is something about with you being stuck in your head a little bit. I think that there may be, let me get a little bit more here. Can I get, because I think this has to do with how you're perceived, Gemini. I don't think that there is, necessarily intention on your end, and thus maybe not awareness. So can I get something about how Gemini is being perceived at this time? There's like little fuzzies from I've got like a synthetic Sherpa rug that I sit on, and I get little fuzzies everywhere stuck to my mic and stuff. Gemini's perception, like how they're being perceived. Yeah. Okay, Gemini. I don't think that you're someone here who is free from the human, experience of making mistakes, right? We see you having gone through what seems to be quite an arduous or tumultuous path. I don't think that you were spared much on the journey that led you to the door that you either have just walked through or are preparing yourself to walk through or feeling ready to walk through, as I do have the Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. Okay, there is a lot of, it's all like fire and air, and the way that you are feeling, right, like yourself, is this strong grounded energy, right? And it does seem to be pretty well balanced, but I don't love, I think that the way that you're experiencing it can at times feel like some mental turmoil. And I want to advise you that I believe that maybe because you are putting too much pressure on yourself. Because the thing is here, yes, you have made mistakes. Yes, you have, there have been a couple of fumbles on the journey, right? The Fool, which you've obviously experienced some of what the Fool would have gone through in taking his leap, right? The Fool, travels through the journey of the cards and just kind of like screws things up here and there. The Fool wouldn't be the Fool if he weren't willing to make a fool of himself, right? And if he weren't okay with that. So there is something here, Gemini, about you having taken this long journey and made mistakes and really holding yourself, almost holding your value to the mistakes that you've made. And that is just not true here. That is just not true, because going forward, you do have everything that you need to lay the groundwork for whatever this next chapter is. And for some of you, I can see that door and key literally being to a new home, or like a residence or a business. Perhaps, I believe some of you might be getting ready to have children. Yeah, this is something that you have been preparing for a while. And this Seven of Pentacles is not just like you've been through a hard, year, 5 months, 6 months, however long. This is like I'm hearing planning. Like this is a vision that you've had in your mind's eye for quite some time. Okay, can I get more about where Gemini is going? What's on the other side of this door? This is like that long-awaited rest, that long-awaited pause. I can see that there is a strong sense of relief that you are craving here, and it does seem to be kind of the the solace of being in communion with those that you love, right? And so it's interesting because this is separate, right? This is separation, but this here is union. So there is a kind of balance that, Gemini, you are so excited to strike here as you walk through this new door, as you walk through this new portal. I do believe that this communion is something that helps you gather yourself, right? Like there's something about having like this hermit experience in communion with those the closest to you. I mean, like your very, very, very best of the best VIPs, your VVVVIPs, right? These people being around you at this time put you in a more confident place and remind you of this star, right? Where it is that you're going. And so Gemini, there is a message here again, like about being kinder to yourself. And there's that Fool, and accepting what is on the other end of the story, because you're not done, babe, right? You're not done, especially, and I was looking for confirmation of this energy that I'm feeling that almost feels like you feel like you've approached the edge, and then you look and you're not quite at the edge yet, right? Like it's almost like you've been preparing that what's on the other side of this door is not an ending, but actually a beginning, right? Which is very much the Fool. The Fool is both. The Fool is the known and the unknown, right? The Fool is the embodiment that the unknown is exactly the point. It is everything and nothing at all. So there's this moment for you, Gemini, where you have been preparing for so long to jump into what looks to be an entirely new setting. Oh, wow. Okay. So I only meant to pull one card out, but I do have Death and the Eight of Cups here. So there is something that I don't think that a lot of this frustration that you might be feeling is just coming from, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I think that I think that you left things behind that maybe part of you is preparing, like your spirit is preparing to walk through this door and then completely reacquaint yourself with what's going on. Are you perhaps bypassing that honesty that we need to have with ourselves in getting ready for a new journey? And so what I mean by this is like that brutal honesty of like self-accountability. You know, I think about it as like the how many drinks do you have per week kind of honesty with yourself. There is something about just sitting down and talking to yourself about what has transpired. And I want to ask you this, and like, okay, so something about me, if you're new here, hello. I can shoot right between the eyes sometimes, and this might be one of those moments for you. So there is something here about if you are not asking yourself, am I the problem, in various circumstances wherein you may have experienced death or like the need to walk away, or you did walk away, or people walked away from you, if at no point thus far have you asked yourself if you are the problem, now would be the time. Okay. Because yes, there is a lot of heat and a lot of frustration and a lot of like just straight anger that I'm getting off of this, but that encapsulates a lack of acceptance. And so I mean, but it all starts with us. And so I wonder, Gemini, if you are looking out and you are dissatisfied, perhaps this Hermit and the Lovers is like a longing for like a purposeful isolation in the face of a desire for union, right? So if you are looking out at what has transpired and finding that there's maybe not as much company or communion or companionship as you anticipated as you're about to walk through this door, or in any case, we should all be asking ourselves, you know, am I the problem? What did I contribute? How am I the problem? Not even am I the problem, just like how am I the problem, right? Just be straight up, because we all contribute, right? We all contribute to some degree to various, you know, dramas and situations and whatnot. Yeah. So 10 of Swords, I can see that you do feel, I'm hearing the word flabbergasted by people's decision making towards you. I'm hearing that there was behavior that came from folks in your circle that, you know, kind of really caused you to whittle it down to like really the bare minimum. And you may feel as if you have been stabbed in the back, right? You may feel a sense of betrayal here. How interesting. And this pride, right? There's so much pride here. So I wonder what has Gemini done right? Can I get some clarity on like why this pride is here? Oh, wow. Because you're self-satisfied. Because you're like, look at how far I've come. I'm happy with what I have. That is powerful. That is powerful. You are happy with what you have. You have created a sense of peace for yourself. That's important. Like that, honey. And I can feel this. Okay. This is what I'm feeling for the heart. There's literally, and like, I've never seen anything like this. There is quite literally a cage around a very tender heart, baby. It may be true. It may be true that you have everything that you want. You have everything you need, and you turn that wheel of fortune in your favor all by yourself, babe. There's nothing I love more than a self-serving, like I can take care of myself kind of person, but not in a way that's exhausting, right? I love nothing more than looking around at the people in my life and saying, are you good? Are you good? Are you good? And they'll say, yep. And I can say, great. Now I can take care of myself, right? And you are that kind of person. You are a self-sufficient royal, right? King, queen, whatever. I think that that's wonderful. However, there is just a but here. There is a but. There is a but. Okay. Two aces and the four of wands. Yeah, I don't know what that but is. I think that but is just your, I suppose that the but, cause I can't find it anywhere else, would just be that you've lost, I mean, not just, right? Not just, you've lost folks that maybe you anticipated being around forever, right? At the very least, you can look around and say, look at everything that I have done for myself and look at how I've manifested and created new opportunity for love, for creativity, for emotional stability and abundance alongside my, like, I feel like some of you guys are taking on creative projects that are just like, you've been wanting to take them on for a long time and suddenly now you have the room to, and perhaps that could be because of those ways in which you've whittled your life down, and kind of getting rid of the emotional baggage of certain folks that you did have around, right? I do believe that might be it here. The but must just be the grief that I'm experiencing and the anger perhaps as to looking around and seeing, I'm hearing you looking around and saying like, why? Right? Like, and there's that pride again. Yeah. Why? See, with judgment here, it's almost like you are not celebrating you are so hard on yourself. You are not celebrating the ways in which you have been reborn. Rather, you are looking at what has been, you know, what mistakes maybe you have or haven't made, right? And so I want to say, and then I have the sun here coming out. Like, I want to say that, like, you know, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times over, Gemini, we are our own worst critics, and you are no exception to that. Gemini, you work really hard to keep the people in your life happy and satisfied. You are only one person. You are only one person. And this journey has felt incredibly directional. Like, you've had to keep it together at different points in this journey where it has felt like you are quite literally against all odds. And yet at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you are still able to look around, and what did I get? Was that 9 of Cups, okay? You know yourself incredibly well. And even though there may be people with everything that has transpired, there may be people who look upon you and say, how dare you, right? You know very well, Gemini, that you have earned everything that you have. and you are able to take pride in it, right? But I am hearing your ancestors or somebody on your spirit team is coming through to say, water it down just a tad. And that's never to say that you are being too loud. That's never to say that you're doing too much. That is only to preserve your humility. And this came up in the Taurus North Node reading that I just filmed like an hour ago. It is, when spirit comes through with a message of like temper, right? It is not, you are not being asked to align yourself with a tone of humility as to say that you are being silenced by God or your higher power or whatever, your ancestors. You are being asked to do that as to align yourself closer to God so that you may call in more of these blessings, right? So that your cups may floweth over in a way that means no maintenance to you, right? Like your cup is just constantly flowing over, right? So when I hear water it down, the pride in you, feel it, validate it, trust yourself, know yourself, right? We don't want to let that become out of balance, okay? And then the Knight of Wands, there is something here about taking this and creating something new. Yeah, like I said, there's something about, I believe that many of you who might be seeing this are broaching on creative projects that maybe you've been putting off for a long time, and you now have the freedom to do so. You now have the freedom to do so after this experience of just feeling like you are never going to get a break. Like it has just felt, Gemini, like you were never going to be able to set these damn sticks down. And like no one was coming, right? Yeah. And it could very well be that the same folks who put the swords in your back are the ones who put the swords in your heart. That's very, very possible here. Okay, with the Two of Pentacles, I can see you wondering, how in the holy hell am I supposed to move forward with the information that I now have? Well, baby, let me get some advice for you, but I do have my own thoughts on that. Are we fucking serious? How are you meant to move forward? Baby, don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. Okay, baby on a horse. Baby on a horse. Yeah, she's a baby on a horse. That's Gemini. Baby on a horse. Skedaddle. Run wherever you want. It's not, you have, those things that have transpired over the past however long it took for this tower to be built and knocked over, however long it took for you to realize that the people around you were sticking swords in your back when they were hugging you goodbye. Okay, see you next week. However long that took you, is done. It took as long as it took. Okay. And there's no looking back. Okay. You get in your little birthday suit. Okay. And you just run, and you let the sun evaporate all of the waters that are stinky. Right. Some more practical advice. How might Gemini do this? The Four of Swords. Give yourself a break, baby. Give yourself a break. Okay. I do feel like, we've got the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups here, babe. All of which you have acquired for yourself was never in vain. Like you've gone through many, many journeys to achieve the level of material, monetary, emotional wealth, even community wealth that you have now. You can rest on the knowing that you are, in this moment and all moments to follow, that you are safe and loved and cared for, and that you are very, very much enough, that you just yourself is enough. You do not need to bring anything to the table. You do not owe anyone anything, just you and your presence. That is plenty. Okay. And so Spirit wants you to remind yourself of that during this time of healing. Okay. People suck, and everybody's just doing the best that they can. Okay. One of the things that might help you with this kind of like when your team says, water it down. One of the things that might help you temper any like anger, or straight up I'm hearing rage, like any kind of feelings of injustice or anger, frustration, rage that might be coming from what has transpired in recent days, weeks, months, is this feeling of, or is this knowing of, everybody's just kind of doing their best, right? You don't have to necessarily forgive. You can hang on to whatever you want for as long as you want. Okay. Nobody's counting. Nobody's watching the clock saying, when is Gemini going to get over it? Nobody's doing that. And if they are, you don't need to, don't even, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay. No, they're not. Nobody's doing that. Okay. Nobody's doing that. You're sure as hell not doing it. All you have to do is say, everybody's doing the best that they can. And I'm no different. And you say that whenever you want. You say that whenever you're ready, right? And even if you have to choke on those words, try to say it still, right? Because there's grace in that. There's humility in that. There's poise in that. And that's where Spirit is urging you right now, to just allow yourself to understand that this is all our first time, right? And in doing so and extending that, you find, this is what I'm hearing, you will find that it is much easier for you to be kinder and more gracious just with yourself. So like everything kind of gets easier and your creative pursuits flow, like those creative juices just start to flow with a kind of ease that maybe you've never experienced before. This comes when you're able to just find that little grain of sand that is a sense of peace and grace, and grow it, right? Find that seed and water it. Okay. Splitting the deck again, I get the Empress. Babe, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Like, I can't stress this enough. Gemini, you have done such a wonderful job, and you deserve everything that you have achieved for yourself. This is not, nobody can take it from you. Okay. The best thing that you can do for yourself is understand that forgiveness is for you, not anybody else. And they don't even need to know that you forgave them. But that is kind of the manner in which we all progress forward with ease. That is the lubrication in the gears. That is our internal mechanisms. Like, I don't know what else. I don't know any other like kind of metaphors for that. So Spirit is urging you to kind of test yourself in that way. Like, how much grace can you give to these fuckers, right? Like how far can you push yourself to, you know, be generous in your judgment with them? Thank you so much, Gemini. If you got something from this reading, I am so glad. Please drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know, what was helpful, what stood out for you, and how it resonated. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Big love. Thank you.